The life expectancy of an African American male is somewhere around 70 years, which means I'm definitely on the back nine. This vlog will be a record of my journey to relearn fatherhood on the back nine. Thanksgiving has always been my favorite day of the year. As a kid, this was the day I looked forward to more than Christmas. It was a day full of family and laughter and all my favorite foods. Thanksgiving came to represent family and love to me. It was the one day when I could expect to see all the people who meant the most to me.
That's exactly right.
Over the years, though, the day started to change. My brother moved away and didn't always make it a point to come home for the big day. My sister got a job working for one of the college football bowl games. It meant that she would always be working on the holidays, and she rarely got to come home. Cousins started to get married and have families. Any given year, I wouldn't know what siblings or cousins I'd see for Thanksgiving. And because this was such a big day for me, Thanksgiving actually started to feel sad. It became a reminder of all that I missed about my youth. Because she knows how I feel about Thanksgiving, my wife had decided that this year needed to be a good one. Last year was a disaster. I got sick on the way to her parents' house, and I spent Thanksgiving Day in bed, interrupted only by trips to the bathroom. And for the first time, I actually missed Thanksgiving. So, my wife was determined to make this year special. And then this pandemic changed our plans. We were scheduled to go to her parents again, and she had committed to making my grandmother's peach cobbler and my mother's stuffing. That's my favorite food. It's sacred to me, and my wife was hoping to use it to give me a little bit of that old Thanksgiving feeling. But as reports of COVID being on the rise everywhere kept pounding in my ear, I made a decision that we would stay home and not see any family this year. It wasn't an easy decision, but it felt like the right call. In response, my wife went into overdrive. She insisted on making a full spread. 3 adults and 1 baby, and my wife was making enough food to feed 15 people. I think in her mind, if we had all the food, maybe it would feel like that big old Thanksgiving I used to love. So, despite my efforts to talk her out of it, my wife started cooking the day before Thanksgiving. I helped where I could and tried to stay out of the way when I couldn't. It was actually fun to watch her work. That's something I would have never been permitted to do as a kid. In my family, all the women would ascend upon the kitchen Thanksgiving Day. As men, our only job was to stay out of the way. Those were the rules. So, watching baby Ella assist her mother making Thanksgiving dinner was certainly a sight for sore eyes. The turkey was a source of real concern for her. She had never cooked one before. They didn't even cook a full turkey in her family, and so this was a new tradition for her. But she wanted me to have my favorite meal, so she was cooking her very first turkey unassisted. I offered tons of moral support, and I also made sure that the men in this family would make themselves useful. Baby Ella had grown tired of helping with the meal prep, so she was watching herself on YouTube again. My son and I tackled the dishes, and that was the end of the Thanksgiving Eve cooking and meal prep. We got up bright and early Thanksgiving morning in order to get the rest of the cooking done on time. It didn't take long before Dara got things going in the kitchen. But with my faithful assistant being a less than enthusiastic teenager, I was left to cover dish duty on my own.
What time do you want to have dinner? Just so I can plan the rest of the...
I'd say like 3 o'clock.
After my work was done, I spent a little time honoring another Thanksgiving tradition and watching the Macy's parade. All the while, my wife was in the kitchen preparing the most important dish. On my plate, growing up, the turkey was an afterthought.
You're just making a mess over there, but you know what?
I needed my Aunt Sherry's mac and cheese,
Well,
and I needed my mom's stuffing. I love it so much that I struggle to eat any stuffing that isn't hers. And my wife knows this, so she was visibly nervous while she worked. My wife puts a lot of energy into making sure my life is the way I like it. And this day is a perfect example of that. She was working herself into a frenzy just so that I could have a little piece of that day that I love. And as she pulled that bird out of the oven, and I could smell it all through the house, I appreciated everything she did. I didn't even mind that third pile of dishes waiting for me. With a quick stop to take a holiday photo of baby Ella, we were just about ready for the big moment. Not a single car was in the driveway. Not a single visitor in the house. COVID forced us to get creative about seeing family and friends for the holiday. We shared smiles with loved ones across town and across the country. But then it was time for the main event. I think it was fair to say that my wife was ready to have a heart attack. She had put all this pressure on herself to deliver my favorite meal, and this would be the moment she finds out how well she delivered.
and for everybody to say what they're thankful for this year.
What can you think for this year?
A lot!
I'm thankful for my health. I'm thankful for my family. Duh. Here, put this in the mac and cheese. That's good. Well, it's the classics. What are you thankful for, son? I am thankful for my health and my family. Oh my goodness. You're being a smart pants. I used to really love it. I'm thankful for Animal Crossing New Horizons. I am. I mean, in this climate, you gotta find the joy in little things. So Animal Crossing is nice. I'm thankful. My friends. I guess. Yeah. Okay, there you go now. I'm done.
I am thankful for you guys. I am thankful for being able to work from home in this season, which everybody doesn't get to do. I'm thankful for the ability to cook and provide for my family. Hi, baby. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, cruisers! Thanksgiving.
Have you had dinner yet?
That's too much.
Your mom's what?
Why?
Because it's not dinner time yet.
Looks wonderful. Alright, here we go.
There goes nothing.
The moment of truth. Just look.
And she delivered. The meal was outstanding. We celebrated with a quick dance party. As we danced, it occurred to me that in all this COVID craziness, I'd been given a gift. This was our first Thanksgiving in this house. We bought it just 2 years ago, right before Thanksgiving. But we had spent the last 2 years having Thanksgiving in other places. So this was the first year we have ever had Thanksgiving here. And because of COVID, we spent it with only the people who live in this house. And despite what I would have thought, this year felt more like Thanksgiving than any year in my recent memory. Perhaps in all my whining, I'd forgotten exactly what I loved about Thanksgiving. Or maybe I lost sight of the most important part. But this Thanksgiving and this pandemic have reminded me that the people I love are right here beside me. And distance doesn't negate closeness unless you let it. I'm thankful that we didn't let it. We ended the night with games, as is the custom. This year, it was Black Card Revoke. And after a miraculous comeback, I once again proved that I'm the blackest person I know. Now, if that's not a perfect Thanksgiving,
Bobby Brown.
I don't know what is.
B. Al B. Short. C. Johnny Gill. D. Keith Sweat. New Jack Swing singer. Yeah, just pick from the people you heard.
I'm gonna punch somebody in the face for Christ's sake.
Who's the best New Jack Swing singer? Was that the question?
Yes, of the 80s and 90s.
A. Bobby Brown. B.
Stop. Just read the answer. It doesn't matter.
What were the answers for?
A. Bobby Brown. B. Al B. Short. C. Johnny Gill. D. Keith Sweat.
He did say Jonathan. He did. Ruben said Jonathan Gill. He said Jonathan Gill.
No, he didn't. He did not.
I said Johnny Gill.
He did not say Jonathan Gill.
It don't matter. Here we go.
Okay.
3, 2.
If anybody says Johnny Gill, I'm gonna swing.
Imagine a person that says Alex Short.
As soon as he said New Jack Swing.
Hey, Desiree, grab your scorecard real quick.
Oh, the game's over?
Yeah, Ruben just took it.
Okay.
You haters and losers.
I do not
Stop the count.
Stop the count.
Hey,
Stop the count.
Happy Thanksgiving to all the haters and losers.
Lock him up.
Happy Thanksgiving to all the haters and losers.
Happy holidays from my family to you.
All right, it was nice seeing
Of
y'all.
course, Bobby Brown.